Good evening, my name is Garrett and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Larado. This is their single barrel small batch wheat whiskey coming in at a 45% ABV, at least 6 years old. Now for full disclosure, I reached out to Larado for a review sample. They were kind enough to send this bottle over for us to take a look at and a review, so just keeping that transparency open. So Larado themselves is based out of Colorado, hence the name, where they're actually sourcing whiskey from Indiana and then aging it and bottling it there in Colorado. And I think that's fine enough. You're transparent about the process, and most likely this is coming from MGP, which MGP makes great whiskey. That's hard to deny that. Now, this one really caught my eye because it's not a mash bill we typically see. So they tell us from the website they're actually using the 95% wheat, 5% malted barley. And I've only seen maybe 2 other places use this mash bill because it is so unique. And on top of that, they're also keeping it at that 6-year age statement, along with this being single barreled. Now, the cool thing behind that process is that means that every barrel will have just a slight nuanced difference. So the great thing about that is you can try this bottle a couple different times and maybe find some very select differences between them. Though overall, the 95% wheat mash bill is a very solid one to play around with, and I'm excited to see how a single barrel offering does on that. So let's hop into the bottle itself and see how they do. Pointed this out in my first video, I love this bottle shape. Yes, it's got fiddly bits on it, you got the cool looking logo on top here, the etching in the front. It's all part of marketing at the end of the day, but they're still allowing that whiskey to really do the talking and shine through. So, as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit, become a member if you like. If you're interested in some other reviews that I'll be doing over Larado, links to those videos will be up above and down below for you to check out, along with a link to their website so you can visit them, learn about them, read up on what they're doing, and how transparent they're being in their process, which is always a big check mark in my book. I love these toppers. Ooh, great pop. Kind of hefty too. Love that. Now, I've had a couple experiences with the 95.5 wheat mash bill. One of those is coming from Backbone Bourbon Company, and one of those was from the Traverse City, which both are also sourcing from MGP as well. Got kind of a pale, almost an orange, like a pale orange. Very unique in the glass. Almost smoky colored, like a smoky orange topaz. Really cool looking. Alrighty, let's go for notes. Ooh, what is that? You're getting like a royal icing on there. Not quite buttercream, but a royal icing. Oh, that's pretty. There's also a fruit sweetness in there, but it's almost tropical-like. Like, it's not necessarily orchard sweetness, but I'm getting more like banana sweet. Yeah, like a banana sweetness. The oakiness is coming through very soft, very sweet, and a little bit of that kind of caramel showing up in there, almost bruleed. Hold on. Follow me here. It is a banana Foster's. Like, they've taken the banana, they've charred it up a little bit. They've added some vanilla, homemade vanilla ice cream into things. Yeah, that's what it is. It is banana Foster's. I am digging that now. Okay. And there's no ABV, there's nothing harsh, there's no off notes. Oh, like, I'm loving it. Now, again, we have to remember, this is 95% wheat. Wheat is typically a accent grain, where you're letting that corn or rye do a lot of the talking. Here, you're letting not only that wheat, which is bringing in a sweetness, but also kind of like a spicy grain note. But you're letting the barrel do a lot of the talking as well. And you're getting that kind of light char, a little bit of oakiness going on. And definitely, I would say there is like a lighter spice quality. And the closest thing I can ever say to what wheat reminds me of is almost like a cedar note. But here I am definitely getting sweet banana Fosters with some homemade caramel drizzled over the top. Like, I am digging that nose. That is very nice. I went in here with the expectations of the 95% wheat to be very soft and kind of just, oh yeah, kind of a simple nose. But it's fairly complex. And it might be because of that single barrel process they're going with to really hone in some unique barrels for things, which I'm all about. Alrighty, let's go for a taste, see how it goes. Oh yeah, soft, sweet, spicy. You're getting a little bit of that cedar note. It's got a beautiful spiciness to things. Not as much of the fruitiness that I was getting on the nose. It's still there, especially here in the finish as I'm talking. So it's calling me a liar. But you're getting that light bit of banana. And for me, again, it's coming across banana Fosters. You get that charriness going on in there, a little bit of vanilla cream, and just that light bit of homemade caramel going on. Has a very subtle cling to the palate. It's not overstaying its welcome. But again, it is 45% ABV, so it's not going to get that big cling to the palate as with 50% and above. But overall, it's soft, it's sweet, it's approachable, and I give that credit. Yeah. Second sip here, a little more oakiness right up front. That sweeter profile with those banana notes are coming through. That is a daily drinker. Like, honestly, that is what you want. It is simple in its own rights. Simple doesn't mean bad, and sometimes people think that. I don't need every whiskey on my shelf to be the most complex thing on my dram for the night. Sometimes having a nice, easygoing sip that's just darn good is what you're looking for. And that's what this is. You're letting the barrel do a lot of the talking, and that wheat is bringing across that subtle sweet, yet spiciness. I'd be curious on this one being on the 8-year profile of their rye whiskey, bringing in that 8-year age statement, another 2 years on things. I respect it at 6. I'd be curious at 8 though, because I don't think I've had anything that high with that mash bill. Like, this would do good in a cocktail if you wanted to throw it into like an old fashioned, but just drinking it neat. Even if you're not deep down your whiskey adventure, this is an easy going pour, and I can't criticize that. It'd be one that if you're sitting out by the bonfire, everybody gets a dram of this, has a nice good sip of it, enjoys it. I like it. Alrighty, let's talk about a grade for this. How about that? So, typical pricing on this seems to be about $80, between the $70 to the $80 price range from what I could find. And to be honest, you have a place that's being transparent about the process. They're sourcing this from Indiana, they're aging it and bottling it here in Colorado. They're aging it and bottling it here, and they're aging it and bottling it in Colorado, along with telling you the mash bill, 95% wheat, really unique, keeping the single barrel and at a solid proof point with a good age statement. All my checkmark boxes are here. This is a great example of a daily pour if you needed one, and one that would work fairly well in a cocktail to not be overpowering with flavors. And for their typical pricing between $70 and $80, and I give it a solid B. I think it does exactly what it set out to do, being a good solid pour, unoffensive, and it's just an easy drinker. And at the end of the day, sometimes that's all we need. And again, if you're interested in learning more about Larado, a link to their website will be down in the description area below. Go show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Larado single barrel small batch wheat whiskey, 6 years old. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirits I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, I even like it might not.